Hey folks, Darrin, Tosh from DN Auto Sales. So we're doing another video because I got a cool one to show you today. Not really in my wheelhouse, but I ain't scared. Check this out. It's a Volkswagen camper van, like a Westy, TDI Diesel, but wait, there's more. Four-wheel drive. It's a Syncro. Super rare, super cool. Now, like I said, it's out of my wheelhouse. We normally deal with the Dodge Road Treks and Chevys and the Fords and the Coachmans and stuff. But once I saw this thing, had a TDI conversion in it, pop top, Westy, awning, camper, I had to try it. Unfortunately, I'm not really knowledgeable about these things, so I got a buddy that is. Kevin, hop on in here a second. So this is Kevin. We were practicing safe distancing and all that stuff. But this guy geeks out on this kind of stuff, kind of like I do, but way in a whole nother level. So I asked him to come and kind of show us around and show it off for us, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So
right on.
Appreciate you being here for me. So what we're going to do is just do a quick lap around it, tour inside real quick, just show you what it is. It is going to go for sale. We're going to probably put it on eBay very shortly. So we're going to show you what it is real quick. For the people that want to look at it, cool, great, check it out. But for the people that might be interested in buying it, we're going to go in the second part of this video, we're going to go deep into looking at the engine, crawl underneath it, showing you what's wrong with it, spend more time on the specs. So that's kind of the goal for this video. But we'll start with a tour around it. It was imported in 2017, went to Illinois, and somehow ended up at a dealer type of auction, and we picked it up. We did brand new Westy bumpers, Go Westy bumpers in the back, because Kevin said that's what it needed, right?
Right on.
Yeah. With the Go Pack toolbox and diesel fuel can, does have the pop top, obviously Syncro on the back here too. We did the trailer hitch option as well. Now, Kevin, this isn't a true Westy, correct?
Correct.
Okay. How do you know it's not a true Westy?
Well, the Westfalia was an aftermarket conversion,
Okay.
and so there are certain telltale signs. There were a couple of different conversion companies that took a standard stock Vanagon and then converted it into a camper. This one, at first blush, could certainly pass as a true Westfalia.
Yep.
But there are some things, and we'll find that out when we get into the more detailed portion of the bus, of why it is that it's not actually quote unquote a Westfalia.
Gotcha. Yep. So it was a European van. It had the 240 volt. We converted it to 110 with an upcharge. We'll go more into that in detail. But just a cool unit. We think that it was converted. The guy that built this thing, think they had a Westy van, put all the Westy stuff inside it to make it his own TDI Syncro Westy. So we'll take a peek inside a minute. And cameraman Zach, if you have any input, go for it. You know about this thing too, so.
I'll flip the light on up there.
Oh yeah, got a light on. Please stand by. I can't see, it's too dark.
It's on the ends. Flip it one more time.
Okay.
One more. There you go.
Oh, there we go. So we did, the cushions weren't really nice in this thing, so we did new cushions. It's got the stove, the sink, the refrigerator. We did new flooring in here.
All right.
Mm-hmm. It is a, what do they call this top? The sunroof of the van.
Yeah, so it's a tin top with a factory sunroof. And then the gentleman from the country of Holland, you said it was, that did the conversion.
Yep.
did take a true Westfalia top and installed it along with the front tray. So again, there's a lot of things, including the interior, at least a vast majority of the interior cabinetry that's actually Westy, official Westy cabinetry.
Gotcha. Take a look in the back. Let's open this up a minute. Now this has a pretty good shock on it. It'll pop open pretty quick on you. So we got the matching cushion in the back as well, so it folds down into a bed. Kevin, you're saying that this is lifted up here?
Yep, it is. It is probably, well, we know the brain box is down there for the ECU from the TDI.
Yep.
Because the TDI conversion, everything is below the actual engine cover.
Okay.
So I think the only reason they did that is they ran out of real estate to put the ECU, probably to keep the ECU out of the elements. Gotcha. And so they did build it up a little bit. So, but it is nice when they did that, they also adjusted the mechanism for that rear seat so that everything is at one level. It's not a different elevation.
Gotcha. Would this have been an original diesel and then they did the TDI conversion in it, or?
So, well, that's a good question. So they did, they only actually came out with diesels in the Vanagon. It would have been a naturally aspirated. I had one at one point in time. Definitely slow. But if memory serves me correctly, they only had those available in E2.
Okay.
And I didn't even ask you what year this one, it's an 86 or newer, 86 to 91. So this one probably would not have had, except being a European bus, I suppose there's a potential that it could have been a diesel originally.
And the reason why I think it may have been because it has a diesel dash in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they could put a diesel dash in just because it's TDI or not.
And the instrument cluster from that 1 or 2 year production in the States of the diesel probably would be a plug-and-play instrument cluster, so it could be that they did retrofit. But again, it could be that this is truly a European diesel with a TDI conversion.
Yeah. Why don't you show the dashboard and the front seats a minute? Cameraman Zach.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought was amazing that this thing actually has power seats in it that work. And like that one's got memory seats in the front three. So it got some aftermarket gauges up here. Radio. What are the two that's got the Syncro knobs? Is that what those are, Kevin?
Yes. So true confession, my bus is an 86 with a 2.1, just rear wheel drive, so non-synchro. But from my knowledge, the two control valves here are vacuum activated lockers. So it has a front locker and a rear locker.
Okay.
And that is my understanding of the Syncro portion of the bus. But those purists out there would definitely know for sure and for certain.
Cool. Well, there's a quick preview of what the van is. Now, if you really want to get dirty with us, we're going to show everything and go from there. So let's start out with kind of walk around the body in detail and showing them that. This thing is mechanically tight. It drives awesome. TDI has the power it should. The shifter works, but it's loose. You can hit all the gears, but the shifter's loose on it. At 60, 65 miles an hour, it's tight, it's good. The body is not a rust-free vehicle. It does have some rust issues. Underneath is absolutely solid, but you can see it's been touched up outside a couple different spots. So we'll just go through and kind of show you that kind of stuff as we walk around it. If you look here, there's a couple bubbles here. Little bubble there. So this plug, like we said, this plug originally had the European type of plug in it. So now you can plug a 110 in. What we did is we did a step-up converter from 110 to 240, I believe is what it is. And then, so everything runs off that. Huge battery under the seat. I mean, like huge battery, brand new, big inverter. So everything runs off that. So it still has the European air conditioner, refrigerator, and it does have a 110 electrical outlet as well. So everything runs on European, and then we still have the 110 that you can still run your electrical on as well. Supposedly this air conditioner will actually run like 4 hours on that battery without being plugged in. The guy that built this thing, I got a whole sheet of all kinds of mechanical stuff that he did to it. It's had a lot of work done to it. So you can see it's got some rust bubbles back here in the seam under the ladder as well. You probably showed that already, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So this vent here is where the intercooler is, way down yonder. Do we want to pull the hood cover yet, or do we want to wait for that?
Up to you.
Let's wait. Okay, we're gonna wait.
Keep the suspense going.
Yeah. This the back tailgate actually looks really good. Little bubble here, but I think it's been repainted at one time. This is actually an aftermarket spare tire carrier. So the spare tire was on this. When we bought that, moved that, then we put the roto packs on the spare tire carrier because it's so cool, you know.
Well, and if you're living off grid, you're going to need a little extra fuel.
And you're driving a Volkswagen, so you're going to need tools.
Hence the reason that you got to plan for the unexpected.
Right.
Although it's expected when you've got a bus. So that's part of the joy.
Right. So some rust bubbles here. A couple touch-up spots here. So it's something that you could get in and use and not worry about scratching it because it's already got the flaws, you know? Got a scuff here. And we did the front Westy bumper as well. This has been hit before, it looks like repaired, not a great job, but that's been hit and repaired. So that's kind of the outside of it. That's how it looks as far as that goes.
But the paint's shiny.
Paint shiny, yeah, that it is. And we did do rock guard. This whole black part is all textured rock guard for the toughness factor of the 4x4. Right. Tires are awesome. Nice size tires. VW Goodrich all-terrain TAs. Mercedes-Benz rims. We found an original Mercedes-Benz rim to match it for the spare. We got it's a Goodyear Wrangler, but the correct size tire for the spare as well. So it's not a VW Goodrich, but it is a Goodyear all-terrain. So the spare rim matches, the tire's close. All right. Now what? Let's show the inside. Okay. Do you have any features in here you need to show that are different?
There's a few inside and outside, but I wanted to let you speak your piece first. So you tell me when you want me to interject, if that's now or if it's later.
Go for it.
All right. So again, those of you who either own a Westy or a Westy or are familiar with them, tray is original Westy, back cabinet's original Westy, under the seat is original Westy, and then storage above. Cabinetry, as far as the sink base, is original but modified. As those of you who know these well, the original Dometic refrigerators is obviously not part of the package, which is a good bonus. It's actually got a 3-burner. I did not look under the bus to see once if there's a propane tank.
It's butane. I think it's down here.
Okay, so it's butane, so it's a little bit different setup than a true quote-unquote Westy. But operates very similarly as far as the top coming back down. And let's see, what else can we show you? The inside of the storage cabinet is a little bit different. Just a couple of shelves that have been built in there, and there is actually a gray water tank to hold the sink water.
There's a switch here as well, and whoever buys this will tell you what that switch is for. Kevin doesn't even know what that switch is for.
I don't. I'm curious,
Yep.
but I'll let the actual buyer figure that out. Darrin was talking a little bit about what's underneath here. I'll let him share that surprise with you here in a moment. You know what? I'm going to let you take over, and then we're going to dig in a little bit more into the cabinetry.
Okay. It's got the swing out table that is aftermarket, not factory. So it is a little clumsy, but it functions and works. It doesn't just swing out like it's supposed to. And these be a little bit shorter, then it would swing out nice. So that goes there. And inside here is your fresh water tank. Right there. And we lost the light.
Yep.
Let's grab a couple flashlight or something. There's the butane, the 220, whoops, hang on, or 240 volt. There we go. The European plug that all the plugs are plugged into, and then underneath this is where the step-up converter is located. In here, so this is the air conditioner. In here is the control for the air conditioner. Like this was on the front of the air conditioner, and that's how you turn it on and off. I want to mount this right here so it's functional. Just haven't got to that yet. Okay, so y'all can take that. Now let's look under here. So this is the huge battery that came with it. This didn't come with this thing. Actually, we replaced this battery with a brand new one. And then the inverter. So you plug it in. You've got your inverter that runs all the European outlets, and then the step-down inverter runs that electrical outlet. USB ports as well. There is some sort of a heater underneath this thing. It's not hooked up. This is the switch for it that's broken, so that doesn't work, but there is some sort of a heater underneath that thing. We decided not to tear into it, so that's there. It just doesn't work. Anything you can see? Yeah, right there you can see where the heater's at and the vent for it. Okay. What else we got? So you obviously got the top bunk up there as well. There's like a foam mattress size cushion that goes up there that makes into the full bed.
This flips over this way to make that full bed.
The canvas is good and functional. It's not great. There's a couple patches on it that were put on it. It's still in decent shape, but it'll keep the weather out. We did put a new screen on the front there. That's brand new. So it's weather tight. It's not perfect, but it's good and functional. And then Kevin, if you want to hop up there and crank this.
Yes.
So what I want to show you here, Kevin's going to close the sunroof a little bit. The fabric on that is original and not in great shape. I just want to show you that as well. It's all there. It's just not. I wanted to put the same material we did the cushions out of, but there wasn't a good way to pull that off. That's good. But that sunroof does work. It closes up and seals up like it's supposed to. Opens nicely and closes. So. Why don't you film between the seats? Okay, up here on the cockpit, like I said, it's got the diesel dash. Like a heart, tell me why. All right, so there's that. Radio works. Probably sounded terrible with my voice that close to the microphone.
Or in general.
Or in general. In general, yes. So it's got the glow plug light.
Don't quit your day job.
No, I don't. The thing starts up cold. It takes a little while to crank, but it does start up cold. Starts up fine, warm, no problem. Glow plugs seem like they are working. The odometer does not work on this thing. It is in kilometers since it's a European unit, but the speedometer does work. I was doing 100 miles an hour with it, 100 kilometers an hour with it today. Tachometer sort of just sticks right there, so that doesn't really work. Fuel gauge works. Temperature gauge did not move at all. We did get heat out of it, so we are getting heat. This water temp gauge didn't work. I think it's got an oil pressure. Oil pressure works great. This one is not hooked up, just turbo boost. It's not hooked up, and the oil temperature didn't work it either. I don't know if that's not hooked up or not. So, this thing it's an awesome van. It's really cool, but it's not a turnkey perfect unit that we fixed everything on. And so, it's definitely a good turnkey usable unit, but it's not perfect and everything doesn't work. Horn. You think the horn doesn't work? Nah. Switch is right there. Yeah. I don't know what this is.
That's your fan speed for that rear. So the rear heater unit that would normally be parked. There was a separate heater core under the rear seat.
Yep.
And so that fan actually controls that rear fan, but that's been bypassed.
Gotcha.
So that's just a dead switch.
Okay. Makes sense. Aftermarket cruise control, right there. Yeah, that doesn't work either. So this is kind of cool. The guy put this in there. This is voltage. You can test the voltage on both the coach battery and the engine starting battery. And this says combined. Like I think this combines both batteries to start. If you wore your coach battery down, you wore one battery down, you need the other one to combine it to start it.
If you need that in English, I'm sure we can get stickers made.
Right there, yeah, that and that. Power port there. Didn't try the power port. I'll bet it works. So there's a quick rundown of the dashboard, cockpit, operations. This seat does swivel around for lounging. The driver's seat does not.
Sorry, Zach.
You're good.
So it's a little different configuration than the typical Westy, but it's the same concept.
What else am I missing so far, Kevin?
Inside, out, or anywhere?
Secret compartment. Super secret. Right there.
So, yeah, one of the things that has been done on this bus, and I have not spent enough time with it to know for sure, but they did add this whole front storage area. So this additional box. Back here, I noticed that there is a, almost looks like a vent of sorts, right where Zach is standing. So I don't know if that's designed to actually push some sort of HVAC through. Let's see, up front here, besides obviously the bonus of being a Syncro, the steering wheel would not be at least not a US standard Vanagon steering wheel. To me, it looks like maybe like a Mark II Jetta. Anyways, whatever steering wheel either it was from, unless it happens to be a European version. Nothing else up here. Obviously, they are not OEM seats. As Darrin already mentioned, they're power seats. Both of them have power, and of course, the beauty is that the passenger has the swivel feature. Driver's swivel feature on my Westy is pretty much worthless because there's just not enough real estate to turn that baby around. Batteries is the other thing. Again, most of you know that the starting battery would be parked behind the driver's seat, or under and behind. That is not the case. Everything's been moved, if I recall correctly, right, Darrin?
Yep, it's in the back.
Been migrated to the back. Other things in the interior, Darrin already showed you the factory sunroof feature that allowed this bus to be converted without actually having to cut the top off of a Westy. The actual fiberglass top is a true Westy. We didn't get into the awning yet. These guys are going to dig into that and show its function. The other thing that's a little bit different, again, from you Westy, those of you who know the Westies well, this one does not have a front curtain. They actually added a curtain system that is parked right behind the driver and passenger seat. And so that's where your privacy starts if you're camping. So no curtain for the front. But obviously there's plenty of places where you can get the exterior mounted privacy, I guess I'll call them curtains. Crank windows, right? Yeah, so crank windows, and I know those have been tested. Those are all working good, which they normally are. As far as inside the bus, besides getting back to the what makes the this bus's heart beat, which I know we've been holding off on. So we'll get to the engine compartment, but other than that, I think pretty much everything inside, most folks are going to find it to be fairly straightforward.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's show them the engine.
All right.
All right. And of course, like all the normal stuff on this thing, lights, all the lights, all the wipers and that kind of stuff, all that stuff works. All the safety stuff works for, you know, that kind of stuff. That'll just, go ahead.
Yep, there's a couple things I like to point out is one, the true, or the original Westy did not have the shelving system in here, right? It's got a bigger storage compartment. I like this feature for having some exterior storage. I know when we're camping and I got to get the coffee out and my wife is sleeping in, I've got to try to get into this cabinet to get to everything. Here you could have everything parked on the outside, so but you still have your storage there. You have the typical storage up here and on top of here. So Zach is actually opening the compartment with a screwdriver instead of the little pull tabs. But one of the things I do want to point out, because of the fact this has that bump up because of the ECU, it does afford you a little bit more storage, so you can throw your jack in here, and it's got a whole storage compartment. Yep, thank you. So you can actually store a few more things up here without losing the functionality of having your rear bed area. Dun, 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 dun.
I first saw this and I'm like, okay. When it was on an online auction, we bought this and we were looking at it and it was listed as a gas, and they showed the dashboard and I saw the Piggly Wiggly for the glow plug, and then I saw the tachometer. I'm like, that's a diesel. And then we got it and it's a TDI conversion. Mm-hmm. I think that's so cool. So this is like 94, 95-ish Passat type TDI. I don't think this is the ALH, it's before the ALH. I had my TDI guy look at it.
And that's where I'll let you, I'll take your word for it. I've owned several TDIs, but again, that's where some of my knowledge falls way short.
So the ALH is like the 98 to 04, 03 Volkswagens. Before that, I forget what the numbers are called, but they're pretty much the same motor, but intercooled turbo. There's the intercooler down there. Like I said, that gets air from the vent on the outside. The intake is, so like Kevin was saying, the battery is back here as well. So that's the typical battery you would see underneath the hood of any ALH or TDI with all the wires on the top of the battery. The air filter's down in here. That gets the air from the right-hand side vent.
And that was a K&N, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So yeah, kind of cool. Okay, what I'm going to do now is give you a tour of underneath the van, because we're just that thorough. Here, I'll have you hold this for me a minute.
And a couple things before you crawl underneath, Darrin, that I'll point out again to those of you who know, a couple things. Our bus actually has the African Safari mirrors. They are awesome compared to the OEMs. And again, those of you who have shopped for those, they don't give those away, so that's a huge upgrade. The European turn signals with the built-in fog lamps, and I don't know if they've been tested, but that's also a very nice feature.
Turn signals work, flashers work, bright lights work, fog lights did not turn on for me.
Okay. The other thing is I guess I would call them running boards, whether they're rock guards, but obviously if you're doing true Syncro things with the bus, a little extra protection to keep the bus from severe damage. That's also a nice and not an inexpensive trade. That's probably it for now.
Need a flashlight?
Yeah, probably. So we'll go underneath and take a look underneath it. Like I said, tires are in nice shape. Oh, I'm gonna get a little light on the subject here. There we go. Everything's been checked as far as mechanically goes. The brakes are good, the axles are good, all the drive line is good on it. So this pan up here, this is where this original spare tire would have been, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And oftentimes, I don't know, I haven't looked underneath, it looks like the original spare cover. Yeah, those who are going seriously off-road with these will actually put a skid plate on.
Yes, yep, I saw those. I wanted those.
Yeah, the next one.
Yep.
Watch your head.
Thank you. Typical diesel with oil dripping off the, or not dripping, but oil buildup off the turbo. Pretty big exhaust system. Sorry, I'm trying to drive this creeper and hold the flashlight and a camera all at the same time. What talent!
While we watch.
Right.
Well, we have to practice social distancing, so
You're right.
we push you.
I am on my own. So anyway, I hope you're getting something out of this part of the video, because I am putting a lot of effort into it, folks. All right, there's the lap underneath it. Kevin, grab that.
All right. A couple other things that I'll point out here real quick is, if you didn't notice, it does have fender flares on it. And I've not seen this before, but they do have some sort of a different aperture here to kick out this rear door a little bit more than what it would originally. But that allows it to clear these wheel well moldings. Oh, and then you're going to want to show them that.
Okay, so the top pan, Kevin filled me in on this. There's normally a fiberglass bottom on this top pan. For some reason the fiberglass bottom was cut out. We don't know why. So we put these aluminum braces on there so you can actually put something up here and carry something in there. So still got the tie downs. Go Westy makes that fiberglass, or that, not the fiberglass, that bag for the roof of these things. So okay, anything else you can think of?
No, I think, obviously if folks have questions, direct them to Darrin. If Darrin doesn't have answers, he'll either make something up or get a hold of them.
Right, yeah. So, all right, well, there's the video of this sucker. We are going to put it on eBay. I'm not sure when. If we're going to wait for this coronavirus thing to slow down, or we're just going to put it on and go for it. Yeah, Kevin, man, I appreciate all your help with this thing, man.
It is my pleasure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks, Zach. Thanks for staying late and doing the video for us. And
No
any
problem.
questions, give me a holler. I'm going to put my phone number and my website on the video, and there will be a link to the eBay auction as well. So, guys, stay safe out there with all the corona stuff that's going on, and we wish the best for everybody.
And wishing you
Thanks a lot.
miles of smiles.